A lot of times with these women that end up dealing with Pookies and RayRays,
Come on.
it's a control thing because they know that if they got a real man, she won't be able to do and rule him like she can a Pookie and RayRay. Not to mention, she attracts these men because.
Alright, what's going on, y'all? She got 5100 CJ, aka the Pookie Hybrid. Back at you with another video. So let's go ahead and talk about something that I think, for me, is long overdue. And I'm gonna have to start explaining to you why the Pookie and RayRay gets the bad label and the bad end of the stick in all these conversations when they want to have a scapegoat. Seems to be the Pookie and the RayRay, right? So that's why I'm gonna talk about this today. Now, let's just give a shout out to myself, right? Because I've been in that gym. You know what I'm saying? Real Pookie and RayRay weightlifting. You know what I'm saying? Getting in that joint, getting better. And shout out to my guy, man, Drill. Make sure y'all go check out his fitness company, man. He does a lot of good stuff. But he's been pushing me to go harder than I normally have been. And so for the last 3 to 4 months, man, I've been hitting it hard. I've lost weight and I've gained muscle. So shout out to the gym, man. I think most brothers could benefit a lot from getting in that gym. Now, let's get to this Pookie and RayRay conversation. I want to show y'all a couple clips that kind of illustrates what I'm talking about to a sense, and then we're gonna break down what I have to say. All right, cool.
It's not the Pookies, is this what we have to choose from?
Nobody deal with Pookie and RayRay.
I think
we don't like drug dealers and stuff.
Y'all, one at a time, y'all, one at a time.
If you are a quality woman,
Pookies, I bet they are. Baby daddy's Pookies.
If you are a quality woman, you would attract quality men. So when I hear women say,
exactly, that's what I get.
I know you're a bullshit bitch, because a woman that's really vibrating on that type of frequency is only gonna attract those type of men. The Pookies and the RayRays, whatever the fuck you want to call them, you wouldn't even be dealing with, because you ain't even on that vibration. You're not even on that level to even deal with them. You got to step down to deal with them. So if you saying, well, this is all I'm surrounded by, that's what you are. You just overinflating your own fucking what you think you are.
I'm so tired of people saying the same old cliche. You are what you attract, bro. So let me ask you a question. There's a kid that has a 2-parent home, dresses nice, and just happened to be walking home, or just happened to be in a place, maybe school, in the hallway by themselves. Does she attract pedophiles? Does a woman that takes care of her family and puts herself in position to do good in life, does she attract abusers? No. You are what you accept. I'll give you that. What you're willing to deal with, you're pretty much comfortable with, and even if it's a trauma response, that's the only time that I would say anything close to you are what you attract is accurate. I've always pushed back against that narrative. Well, I ain't gonna say always. It's definitely happened with elevation, but let's attack the second thing the brother said. He said you wouldn't even step down to deal with Pookies and RayRays. Let's talk about this. What is a Pookie and a RayRay? Because let me tell you what I perceive it to be based off what I've heard in conversation in life, but mostly in this space. Basically, a Pookie and a RayRay is a guy from a street background that the ladies tend to like, and is apparently uneducated, but can be educated. Apparently is broke, but can have some money. So it's honestly, it's not a real definition. That's why I said that basically the Pookie and RayRay is a scapegoat for everybody, but I'll get further into it. So let's go to the second part.
A lot of times with these women that end up dealing with Pookies and RayRays, it's a control thing because they know that if they got a real man, she won't be able to do and rule him like she can a Pookie and RayRay.
Okay. I could have played the whole clip, didn't really want to. That's what I needed from it. So this brings me to my first talking point, right? And that's the Pookies and RayRays, or women are attracted to Pookies and RayRays because they're easily controllable. Okay, she just said it, right? Let's test that theory. Who gets most of the blame for deletion, robbery, theft, all crimes in the black community? Who gets the rap for that? Pookie and RayRay, right? Okay. The stats have come out, and maybe I'll put them on screen, maybe I won't, because I don't even care about the stat, to be honest. But what they say even men in this space that want to down the Pookie and the RayRay, what they say is that guys that make less money are more prone to be violent in domestic situations. I've heard several people say it. I've heard Obsidian say it. I've heard other men that claim to be high value men or whatever say it. And that's just funny to me because that doesn't sound like he's easily controllable, right? For example, I got a cousin, I've talked about it before. He's a chunky woman finesser. This is what he does, right? Now, you could say that woman is a little insecure that he may deal with. I wouldn't pretty much argue with that, but I'm trying to understand if she's the insecure one and he is not the man that is, if he doesn't have this esteem and he's not a man that's respectable, how is he getting her to do for him if he's easily controllable? People talk out of both sides of their necks, right? So here's another talking point that you hear about Pookie and RayRay. You hear that Pookie and RayRay have no standards, right? They just take whatever. They don't come from anything, right? But see, this is the thing that's funny to me. How is it that this man has no standard, but it's also pulling the woman that a lot of you guys, for a lack of a better word, are bitching about when it comes to black women? The fine black women, the voluptuous black woman, even the successful black woman. How is he getting her if he has no standard? Let's look at what standard is, right? You know, most guys want an attractive woman. Y'all complain a lot about Pookie and RayRay having the most attractive women in the black community, and that sounds like a standard to me. A guy that gets beautiful women sound like he has a physical standard, right? They're usually not dealing with broke women from what y'all say, because they're all hobo-sexual. They rely on women to take care of them. That's what the narrative is, even though I don't 100% agree with that. Let's go with it for the sake of this conversation. This guy relies on women to take care of him. How is a man able to get a woman to take care of him financially when you hear them all the time talk about how they're not taking care of a man, right? How is he able to be a guy that gets that out of her if he's easily controllable and he has no standards? Somebody lying. That's all. Somebody lying, bro. Somebody's not telling the truth about who this Pookie guy is. And look, I am called the Pookie hybrid for a reason. I see both sides of the equation and both sides of the coin. I don't think Pookie is always right, and I don't think the educated lame is always right. But I do notice this. Both seem to blame each other for any kind of shortcomings that they have. And I just find it ironic that this space, who is basically, let's just be honest, is heavily populated with lames, right? We know this. It is what it is. I don't think that's negative. I don't think that's necessarily a bad word. It just has a negative connotation, but that's another conversation for another day. But I see that a lot of the guys that have something to say about a Pookie and a RayRay are the lame guys, the guys that cannot pull a woman, the guys that have an issue with the woman going with this type of guy. But here's the thing, this is what Pookie and RayRay is that y'all are not saying. He's confident. Let me show you what this lady had to say, because I kind of agree with her to an extent. To an extent, right?
Since being on TikTok, I've read in my comments and other ladies' comments, certain guys saying, oh, it's because you needed the Pookies and the RayRays. Wait a minute, there's levels to Pookies and the RayRays. I've been treated well by the Pookies and the RayRays. I've been spoiled, I've been respected, and I had the most fun with the Pookies and the RayRays. And let's not mention, a lot of the Pookies and the RayRays own your homes, they own your blocks, they own your businesses.
The last part, it's a little overstated, but the point is well taken. Look, y'all, basically this is what y'all are doing. A lot of you lames are referring to Pookie and RayRay as the scapegoat. That's all it is. You're mad that this guy is able to get the woman that you want. And I will give you this, the hood nigga, Pookie RayRay archetype is pushed to the top. Like in our culture, the street nigga is the most loved or talked about or celebrated, even though in reality, he's not. As far as the image of black men go, that's what we're supposed to be. So I get the frustration from the lame perspective, but I need y'all to understand something. Just because he's able to do some things you cannot do does not mean he's better than you, for one, and does not mean if you can do things he can't do does not make you better than him either. I believe no human is better than the next because I know how simple we actually are as people. It's just the reality. But if we're gonna have this conversation, a lot of y'all be hating, bro. It comes down to you hating on the guy that can pull the woman that you cannot pull. They can get out of that woman what you cannot get. I can get a lot out of a woman that you guys could never get. That's probably why you should never compare yourself to another man with a woman because, bro, I get things out of her you just can't. And I'm pretty sure there are things you can get out of her that I cannot get out of her. But a lot of y'all don't understand that the Pookie and RayRay or the hood nigga or whatever is confident because a lot of time we ain't have a lot to lose, bro. We saw something we like, we went for it. But here's the funny thing. You got niggas in the hood that ain't never really hollered at a woman, that go unnoticed, right? So it can't be where you from, the circumstances in which you born. That can't be the only criteria for a Pookie and a RayRay. So look, I need y'all to do this. I need y'all to decide what the fuck a Pookie and a RayRay is. Give me a solid definition so we can have a conversation. Because let me tell you what I think. From what I've heard, what I've seen in this space for a long time, it's basically saying that the guys that are in the streets are your scapegoats. And when you can't get that woman, you want to blame him. And when something happens to that woman, you want to blame him. He's always wrong. But I don't think this person actually exists, honestly. But I'll continue to have these conversations from my standpoint and what I believe a Pookie and a RayRay actually is. Y'all mistake Pookie and RayRay for shiftless niggas that do nothing. That's not a Pookie and a RayRay in my opinion. That's just a man that ain't about nothing. That's a guy that latches on to people to take care of him, that doesn't have any drive and motivation. That's not a Pookie and a RayRay. Y'all have just created this thing to blame women and remove accountability from yourself for not being better when it comes to women. Because just because you have a good job, just because you're a faithful man, just because you believe in God does not mean you're gonna get the woman of your dreams, bro. You don't deserve any of that. You get what you can get. It's just that simple. So this is gonna be probably an ongoing conversation because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna upset some people, but I have some smoke for the hood niggas that don't wanna hear from the other perspective too, so relax. This is just one of the many videos that I'm gonna do. So Pookie's able to get the woman you want because he has the confidence to. He has the gumption to try. He has a charisma about himself. He has a swagger about himself. And guess who else has that? College nerds, jocks, TV personalities. It's not limited to the hood nigga. A lot of y'all are just envious of men that can get the woman you want and doesn't have to have what you have. But anyway, it's your guy 5100 CJ, aka the Pookie Hybrid. Make sure y'all hit that like button on the way out. Hit that notification bell so you can get all of my content as soon as I drop it when you subscribe. And yeah, we'll catch you with the next video. So you dig.